UCLA is also committed to growing its enrollment to support President Drake's and the Regents' vision to expand capacity. The only problem is we're out of space. So I think we're at the maximum physical capacity right now. I can't imagine putting any more students per square meter on our campus at any one time, but that's the key, any one time. So I think there's some opportunities even on our main campus to grow the number of students. And we've got a number of strategies we're developing, and I can assure you we will grow because we want to grow, and I think we have the capacity to grow. So I have the next slide, please. So, there's several approaches we're considering to expand capacity. So while our four-year graduation rates are among the highest in the system, that's 85% of our students graduate in 4 years, and for transfers, the two-year graduation of 75%, there's still an opportunity to increase those rates. An opportunity to increase those rates for all students, but especially to close the gap among underrepresented students, first-gen and Pell-supported students. And that has been our focus over the last several years. It's been your stated mission to have us close those gaps, and we've been working laser-focused to do that. So that's one way that we can speed the graduation of all of our students, but also close the gap between student groups. If I can have the next slide, please. So we've made significant investments to support retention and persistence towards graduation and to close the remaining time to graduation gap among our students. For example, I'll just give you a few. One is the Black Bruin Resource Center, which has been used actually by thousands of students already. It is 1,000 visits. I think it's really been spectacularly successful in the short time it's been open. Our First to Go program, which deals with students who are the first in their families to go, and other programs that support first-generation students, as well as our focus to become a Hispanic-serving institution and the many infrastructure changes we're putting in place to prepare for that. All of these resources give students a sense of belonging and support, and it's especially important if we want to make sure that all of our students have an opportunity to graduate in a timely way. If I have the next slide, please. Our investments in diversifying our faculty through specific programs aimed at diversifying faculty, one called Rising to the Challenge, another Faculty Forward initiative, along with our Hispanic Serving Institute initiative, provide opportunities to recruit and retain faculty who are focused on addressing issues that significantly impact the communities and students of color on our campus. So as I think I mentioned in my report to the Regents last time, we can't keep doing the same as we've been doing. We're not making progress. We need new initiatives, and these are all new initiatives focused on really moving the needle. And a new one, Native Americans and Bruins Rising, a new commitment to recruitment of faculty and graduate students. So harnessing these ideas to create a capacity for enrollment growth is an important strategic goal, but we're equally invested in developing a more culturally responsive environment for our students. And it's clear to me that growth in enrollment needs to be accompanied with a growth in our competency to serve a diverse student body. So we have to get better at this while we get bigger, really, to make sure that our students graduate and that they feel fully welcome. So while the improvement of graduation rates will yield a modest amount, we estimate 200 to 300 additional incoming slots for California residents. So this is not the 2,000 to 3,000 students. This is a small number. We still think this is critical because it will give us the tools to be able to make sure that we begin to be able to reflect the diversity of our state and make us more attractive as we employ other strategies to further enrollment growth. So I'm going to have the next slide, please. We've convened a working group, and you've heard these before. I'm sorry, I'm mentioning things. Others, these are I think, strategies we're all thinking about. But we've convened a working group that's assessing the best way to take advantage of summer as a full quarter. When quarters were originally established in the 1960s, the belief was it'd be 4 quarters, and students could choose to go 4 quarters, or they could take 3 of any 4 quarters, and it would really be a completely symmetric full year. We know that can't be the case. Summer has certain constraints on it. Some students have to work. Students want to do internships. Families want to take vacations. So we have to be really flexible with summer, but we still have to turn it into a bona fide, real quarter, not just a summer session. So we have to be innovative about this. We've got to recognize that we may have to offer courses earlier in the morning, later in the afternoon. We certainly have to rely in some cases on remote education where it's appropriate, meeting students where they are. So it's going to be a more interesting, perhaps more experimental quarter than our other 3 quarters, but we're convinced that it'll be successful, will be popular, and not only will allow us to accept more students, about 2,000 more students on campus during the year, but it'll also speed graduation of all of our students. It does 2 things at one time. It allows our students to progress more quickly, and it allows more students to enter campus because some students will begin in the summer quarter. So I have the next slide, please. So as we continue to develop opportunities on campus, we are looking at satellite campuses. So this is something I know UC Berkeley looked at fairly recently, and it's not a pipe dream. We have a couple of really interesting opportunities. We'll see whether they come to fruition, but the possibility of bringing a new campus, small campus, into existence in the LA region would be very attractive for us. The exact theme of that we're talking about now, but I think this is a real possibility. We also have a new program we're developing called UCLA in LA, which can provide students an opportunity to work and participate in internships and organizations and communities in Los Angeles, in downtown Los Angeles, to gain relevant leadership skills through curricular offerings and exposure to local, national, and global leaders. So really a leadership program in LA, so it's UCLA in LA, a lot like UC DC, which is fantastically popular in DC, so something like that. And between the two, if we could have a satellite campus and this program in LA, we think we could accommodate anywhere from 600 students to, maybe even 1,000 students. So these are all opportunities for growth. So to conclude, I'd like to reiterate how important it is to situate the university's enrollment growth goals within a broader framework that considers multiple elements of campus life. So when we grow undergraduate enrollments, we too must grow graduate student enrollments, which is also we're planning to grow our graduate programs. Faculty hirings, you have to have faculty when you have more students, especially you have students in the summer now, more students, and our academic programs have to grow. So this really has to be a comprehensive, sort of holistic approach to education. But I'm really confident that UCLA, as crowded as it is, can grow just like campuses that are in growth mode like Merced. Thank you.
My question was to Chancellor Block, and I really appreciate some of the comments that you are making in terms of looking beyond our main campus. And I was wondering, a couple of years ago, I kept on hearing about, it was down in San Pedro, Alta-Sea at the port was one opportunity that I thought, and I was wondering, where exactly are you really seeking these satellite campuses, and what would they specifically be composed of? Because I think that's an important element of how we expand, especially at UCLA, where, it's so UCLA-centric, so Westwood-centric. I'm wondering, your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so, there's two areas where we really have some opportunities. One is out in Santa Clarita, where there may be opportunities to expand. We already have our film archive out there. So that would be probably built around arts and would have a theme, be thematic to the extent we'd have activity there. The other is actually, we haven't given up on Alta-Sea and relationship there. Unfortunately, the buildings there are not in great shape. But there's some other opportunities in the area there, so that's quite interesting. And again, that would be tied to the blue economy, but it could be everything from, our marine biology programs to opportunities for, startup activities and commercial activities around the ocean. So those are two regions that are very different and could actually have impact. UCLA could have impact that it doesn't have now, especially in the San Pedro area.
Yeah, and is there anything in downtown Los Angeles that you're looking at, or is it mostly in Simi Valley and
yeah, not looking at a campus downtown, unless ASU wants to lease a space down there. But can't see that as an opportunity right now. We think about a program down there, and but not actually a campus per se.
Okay. Well, also, if you need any help in terms of elected officials and trying to get that word out, I think the satellite campus areas, I certainly see it in San Diego, and I saw it in Merced when I was up in Merced with the downtown and several of the others. I think it works really well as we re-envision education in the 21st century, that you have satellite campuses. I mean, I certainly see the health facilities all over. I'd like to see the campuses a little bit more all over as well, given our space limitations. So, and also given our diverse students and where they live, I think it'd be very helpful. But I do appreciate, Chancellor Block, your efforts in expanding, and because I think that's obviously a key thing for us at UCLA. So with that, thank you.
Thank you.